die Nacht und Löwen sehe ich gar kein. Draußen macht sich wer zum Affen, doch der
That covers the most important points about the Eurovision Song Contest. Any questions? Susanna?
Speaking of points, which country has received 0 points most often?
Oh, well, that's not so easy to answer. You have to analyze lots of data and statistics, so do we have any other questions? Hello? All right, fine. It's Austria. Yes, we are the champions of losing. 11 years ago, we became the only country ever to receive 0 points while hosting Eurovision. Excellent host, apparently. Didn't take a single point away from our guests. But we share this first place of nothing with Norway and our neighbor Switzerland. But when it comes to languages, there is a clear winner. Songs performed in German have received 0 Punkte 6 times. Although the comparison isn't entirely fair. The voting system has changed over the years. In the first 14 contests, very few points were awarded at all. In 1969, the winners received only 18 points in total, and 4 countries got none. In 1965, one of those unlucky artists was Conchita. No, not our Conchita, the one who represented Spain twice. I don't think that's entirely accurate. That's more like it. To be fair, we should remove all the 0-point scores from before 1970. After that, 22 artists sat in the green room waiting for points in vain. So let's celebrate them. Because whether your country wins or gets 0 points, one thing remains the same. We're all united by music. Any questions? Yes, Hugo?
Why are there only gays at the Eurovision now? Have they taken over?
Oh, Hugo. The majority of people are heterosexual, so most of the people singing at the Eurovision Song Contest are straight. That's also true for the producers and for the people in the arena, and obviously for the viewers at home too. Straights everywhere. Performing on stage is art. Many gays and lesbians and people from all the other letters of the LGBTQIA+ have been drawn to the arts. Why? Nobody really knows for sure. But here's an idea. To be an artist, you need to create something different. And that might be just a little easier if you already are different. It's not about blending in, but about standing out. Of the 72 acts that have won the Eurovision Song Contest so far, only 8 singers have been openly LGBTQIA+. In 1956, it would have been almost impossible to come out as gay, but they were a part of the family from the very beginning. Dany Dubanson, who sang for France, in the first ever Eurovision Song Contest lived with a woman she called her life companion. Or in 1961, Jean-Claude Pascal.
nous allons vivre.
He sang a love song without using any pronouns or names. He later came out as gay. We're celebrating 70 years of Eurovision Song Contest, but it took more than 40 years for the first openly gay person to appear on a Eurovision stage. In 1997, Paul Oscar of Iceland sang Min hinsti dans. That means my last dance, but it wasn't the last, it was the first for queer visibility. These are the acts that openly identify as one of the rainbow letters. And these are the others. No takeover detected. Do I think there are too many gays, Hugo? No. But I do think there are too many wind machines, off-key notes, weird costumes, and we never quite recovered from that giant penguin on stage, remember? We're all one big family, with moms and dads, and some have two. With straight siblings and gay uncles, a family of men and women and everyone in between. Most of them are straight, Hugo, because that's simply how the world is. But I hope that soon we'll be able to replace all the letters in LGBTQIA+ with just one, H, for human, and not for Hugo. Yes?
What is the most successful Eurovision song of all time?
Well, that depends on your criteria. Is it the amount of points received during the voting? Then this song would be the winner. Salvador Sobral for Portugal in 2017. No entry has ever got more points, 758. But is that really a fair comparison? In earlier years of the contest, there weren't nearly as many points to be won. So let's change the criteria. The point difference between first and second place. Anyone? That record belongs to Norway. In 2009, Alexander Rybak scored 169 points, more than that year's runner-up. An all-time high. Sounds like a fairy tale. But let's be honest, Eurovision points are not everything, because there's something even more important: money. So let's talk about the record sales of the winning song. Nope, it's not that one. They only come in third. Not that one either. They come second. The Eurovision song that has sold more physical records than any other is... And it didn't even win. Domenico Modugno only came third in 1958 with Nel blu dipinto di blu, or better known as Volare. Of course, hardly anyone buys records these days, so let's turn to your favorite streaming platform. More than 750 million streams for Loreen. More than 1.4 billion for Snap by Rosa Lynn from Armenia. But the most streamed entry ever, with more than 1.5 billion streams and counting, is this one. Do we finally have our answer now? The most successful Eurovision song of all time. Maybe we need a completely new criterion, cultural impact. But how do you measure that? How about a number of cover versions, huh? And the winner in that category has been covered by other artists more than 1,000 times. Does it sound familiar? Long story short, there is no single answer to the question of the most successful Eurovision Song Contest entry ever, because there are too many ways to measure success. And since 1956, every year has written a new chapter. So any last questions before we all head into the weekend? Oh, go ahead.
I never fully understood the voting procedure in the Eurovision Song Contest.
That's not a question.
Well, could you explain it to me?
With pleasure. Let's go back to the year 1969. That year, 4 songs received the same number of points, 18, and there were no rules whatsoever in place for handling such a situation. So all 4 of them were declared winners. In the following years, the point system was tweaked to prevent recurrence, and eventually a new system was introduced, the famous 12 points. With much higher points now achievable, it was assumed that such a tie would never happen again. And you know what? It happened again. In 1991, both Sweden and France got 146 points each. But this time Eurovision was prepared for a tie. If 2 countries had the same number of points, the one that had received 12 points more often would win. Sweden got 12 points 4 times, and France received them 4 times as well. So they moved on to the next criterion. Who received 10 points more often? And that's where Sweden did beat France, and Carola of Sweden was finally no longer confused. So the 12 point system has remained, but the voting rules have changed slightly over the years. And this is how voting works tonight. In all 35 countries, there is a jury of 7 members. They must be diverse in background, age, and gender. Each jury member ranks all 25 songs individually. The ranking of all 7 jurors is then combined to create the national jury ranking.
12 points, go to...
12 points for first place, 10 for second, 8 for third, and so on, down to 1 point for 10th place.
Germany, 1 point.
The points from all 35 juries are then added together. But that's only half the story, because after the jury vote comes the audience vote. So stay focused.
The second half is made up of your votes.
The audience in, let's say, Austria can vote online, by text message, or by phone. All votes within Austria create another ranking. And the top 10 countries receive the familiar points. 12 points from Austria to the song with the most votes, 10 for second, then 8, 7, and so on, until the 10th ranked song receives 1 point. And you all know what that means. It means if a song is not in the top 10 in Austria's audience vote, it receives 0 points from the Austrian audience. As in previous years, all the audience points for each country are added together and announced as a total. So if this happens,
The viewers have awarded you 0 points.
don't be too harsh. It doesn't mean that no one voted for them. It simply means the song didn't receive enough votes to reach a top 10 position in any other country.
Who wins the Eurovision Song Contest 20?
For the final results, jury points and audience points are added together. If there's a tie, then the song that receives more points in the audience vote wins.
Sweden!
I know that's a lot to take in, so at least remember this. 12 points, 12 points, is a very good thing to hear for the country you're rooting for.